This is the Texas Wildflower kit, and you'll be embroidering the Gregg's Mistflower, these purple blooms here. You'll need the small needle, the blue landmass, and embroidery thread. Thread your needle so that there's one short tail out here, and at the end of the long end, tie off a knot. You should have something like this with your embroidery needle, a short free tail closest to it, and then at the other end, a knot. Flip your blue paper over and insert your needle. Pull that thread through until your knot catches. You're going to make 2 or 3 knots per each hole here, so I'm going to hold the end of the thread, wrap my needle around the back of it, and pull that through. Don't pull these knots too tightly. You want them to stay fluffy, so the looser the knots are, the fluffier they'll be. There's my first knot. I'll make another knot by holding my thread out on the left there, wrap my needle around the back of it, and then I'm going to keep holding that thread there, especially close to the paper, so that that knot stays close to the paper. Not going to pull too tight there to keep that knot fluffy. That's what it looks like after 3 knots. Now I'm going to insert my needle back in that same hole we came out of, pull it through, and then I'm going to come up in the next hole, and I'll make 2 or 3 knots in that hole as well, and I'll continue doing this across in each of those holes. Let's do the second bloom now. I'm going to hold with my left hand that thread, wrap my needle around the back of it, and pull it through. As I'm pulling that thread through, I'm still holding the thread with my left hand, and then I'm going to put my finger on top of that knot just to keep it close to the paper and not pull too tightly to keep that knot fluffy. There it is, and I'm going to do this 2 or 3 more times in each hole and carry on until I've finished all of those blooms. The blooms on this side are done, so I'm going to flip over the paper and then poke my needle out into the next set of holes over there to make the next blooms. And I'll start tying off those knots again. When you finish the knots, you should be left with some tiny blooms like this.